And now we are countdown to the live on Facebook.
What's good, Facebook, man? We love y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all way better than YouTube. I just want y'all to know y'all are some of the greatest, most loyal fans.
Every time I come in the press room, you in the press room. Working on our Stars Hot-Tronic heat press. Using all the vinyl. Making all the picture tees. I like vinyl.
I'm about to just load these boxes up on that shoulder.
Man, you gotta be a crazy little brother to get fired on your day off. What you get caught stealing boxes for?
Man, I didn't get caught stealing no boxes. He said he caught me though.
You get our rent paid.
Why don't you go in there and ask the girls we're up there to see if they help us pay our rent?
That don't sound like a bad plan at all.
What's up, Pops? What's up, Smokey?
I'm trying to set up a meeting with the girls, man.
Okay.
Y'all wanna help me and Craig pay our rent?
Craig still owe me money from the last time he got me. He gotta learn a lesson. He shouldn't be stealing. Don't ask him to tell that girl from last night to give him some money.
What they say? They said it's slow for real.
I'm about to just ask boss when we get our job that night.
Of course you can.
Yeah!
Yeah.
And,
Y'all actually won an award, the Boss Mag 2009 Ohio Hip Hop Award. Y'all won for that media outlet thing.
man, I don't even know.
Like y'all won. He didn't even know he won.
What'd you say? Who was it?
You won the Boss Magazine 2009 Ohio Hip Hop Award. Congratulations.
That's legendary.
Yo. What's good? It's your boy Peanut, aka the CEO of Dash Resource. I got my man Stacking Smed with this Smediverse on his head.
Yeah, man, you guys, y'all. So look, there's a movie out called Revenge of the Nerds, man. And it was two nerds in particular, man, and always had this shit on their head, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in they gang from now on, bro.
Oh wow,
man, I want everybody, man, to go out and get you some of these good old Oculus glasses, man.
Absolutely.
I think that this is gonna be definitely the wave. We're gonna be carrying these around like we do our cell phones, possibly. But as far as just being able to be online, being able to do business, setting up stuff with other people, I think that this is a really cool way to be able to do it, man. So, you know, this is the Internet 2.0. And so I have 2 stores in virtual reality right now.
Yes,
I'm calling them Hollow Suites. But what you do is, man, you can do this on your phone or on a computer, by the way, but when you put on this Oculus headset, you are completely immersed in whatever surrounding you're in. So when I put these on, it's just like a virtual reality 3D game
It's
that
real,
you've ever
man.
been to, like Universal Studios or any of that stuff, where everywhere you look is the environment that you're in. And so when you put these on and you go to our Gold for Your Mouth Hollow Suite or go to the T-Shirt King Hollow Suite, you will actually be inside my store, inside a location, and I will be there to meet you and talk to you. And we chop it up back and forth. We do business. You can buy your shirts. You can either, we're fixing it so you can either buy a shirt for your avatar or you can buy a shirt for yourself in the real world. And we create it and send it to you, man. So,
man, tune in tomorrow. We're going to talk about this.
yeah, man, blackcryptonews.com, Black Crypto News tomorrow with B-Nut. We're going to get into the metaverse and a lot of other stuff that's just going on. But it's grassroots for it all right now. So as us as a people, man, like we cannot get left behind on any of these things, man. We not only and listen, like this ain't just for me. Like the things that I got, I'm also making available to everybody else. Like we are building these metaverse worlds, building these hollow suites, these virtual stores. So all of this stuff is gonna be exactly right there for everybody. You know, right there.
Got something written up too. I think it's
B-Nut wants to grow weed in the metaverse.
We gonna do it.
And I do too. Nah, but listen, like already in the metaverse though, we pass blunts in there, man. You know, you can they got bottles in there. They got all the fun stuff. Like I went to a comedy club and you go to the studio. Go to the studio. So man, it's like it's different angles from it. You got different worlds. You got different things that you can go and do. But all of it is very cool. All of it is entertaining, and it's definitely something that you want to do. These Oculuses, man, you guys can afford these things, bro. They $299. That's it. And for all of the things that it unlocks for you is worth it. Just like a cell phone. I mean, it's just like a cell. Like I'm just saying, like you go and spend a few dollars on a cell phone. This is the same or more. You don't got to buy this plus something else or pay a monthly bill or none of that. Once you buy this, you on fire.
Right, not yet.
Well, not yet, but to not discourage anybody from doing it, the fact is right now you don't have to pay a monthly bill, and you will not, so far as we know. You know, if you can choose to probably pay a monthly bill.
Facebook is free. Metaverse is gonna be free.
Facebook understands that free gets you ad money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so you're gonna be able to get on here and kick it and socialize.
I know about free things. Okay, my book is free, but I receive a residual income off my free book that's on Amazon right now.
So all right, but so I don't want to spend too much time on that. You guys, we do want to ask you guys to go like, subscribe, ring the bell notification on our YouTube channel. It's spelled just like what's on the skin below me, the Legendary People Podcast on YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, and make sure you guys continue to comment throughout the course of the show, whether you're watching on Facebook or watching on YouTube. Please engage and comment. We're going to be reading the comments and then making sure that you can chop it up with our guest, who is a legend like none other.
Sure.
You know, we always keep that heat coming, man. You know, over and over. Say what's up to our sponsors, man. Sheik's for breakfast. They got the best breakfast in the city. Agnes All Natural Grill for lunch. If you ever get injured, call attorney Michael Wright. Big got the Kiara wine. If you want to get lit a little bit, unwind with some Kiara wine. And the shoparea.com is like the baby Amazon, the shoparea.com. Delivery is always free from the store to your door in 4 business days. That's the shoparea.com. We're at T-Shirt Kings, t-shirtkings247.com. T-Shirt Kings in the metaverse. Go for your mouth. Camera Kings. And think about T-Shirt Kings. 50 shirts for $250. We giving that deal $5 a shirt. So make sure that you guys come and take advantage before the sale goes away. And my brother Peanut Johnson teaches you how to get a big old bag from selling stocks. Yes. Right? So sell stocks, not dope. Every Sunday on the Dash Resource channel on YouTube at 8 o'clock. He walks you through step by step, teaching you how to invest your money the right way. Right now you got taxes coming back. You got a little extra cheese. Man, you know, put it somewhere where it'll grow for you, you know? And grow is what we all gonna know. Right? In this show. And that's a wrap. All right, you guys, man. Like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. So without further ado, my brother Peanut Johnson, over to you.
Man, you bodied it yet again.
Yeah, man.
Not again, a game.
A
game, right? Man, like I said before, we have no legend hire. I tell them every single episode, no matter if we're doing an away game, a home game. It's always we present to you the creme de la creme of interviews. Man, you are not going in the metaverse.
No. I'm giving this to Peanut. I'm
about to say, Smith, I'm about to take a point from you immediately,
I'm giving this to Peanut, bro.
But anyway, that caught me off guard. So anyway, so there's no legend hire. You know what I mean? So we have Shondale Nicole. How are you doing today?
I am amazing.
You look amazing. I like the jacket.
Hey, I have to get a shout out to my hometown friend who is an artist, who is talented, who is downtown. Mr. Christoph, the original.
Christoph, friend of the show. He's a legend in his own right.
Legend.
And Sman wearing Christoph right now as well.
Say that.
And wait. I'm wearing Energy, which is Norse.
Yeah.
So we all shop at the same store, same people. That's hard.
Legendary.
That's hard. We all wearing dating. That's hard, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, here on Legendary People Podcast, we like to find out the origins of our legends. Without further ado, where'd you grow up?
I grew up right here in the city of Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Right here in the city.
Where about?
You know what? If I tried to tell you where, I would have to go maybe about a few hours to talk about the exact places.
Right.
Because it was everywhere. You know what I mean? It was funny how at a very young age, God allowed my feet to touch soil in every single area, like every neighborhood, white, black, everywhere. So I've been everywhere in Dayton.
So, I did a little bit of research. So, you grew up in foster care.
Right.
Right. So, what was one of the most, like the first one, like you remember, like just the first home that was foster home for you? Because what, it was at 2 is when you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I went into foster care at 2, right? And my mother had 5 kids. You know, when I went in at 2, I didn't have my little sister yet. It was 4 of us. So one of my mother's biggest rules, even at that time, you know, my mother was caught up in the 80s where crack hit, you know what I mean? And it just wiped out a lot of our people in our community.
Kings and queens,
yeah. And my mother was included in that. But the thing about my mother was she always knew she didn't want her kids separated. So I can remember at a very young age, like 3, 4, 5, hearing my mother say, like, don't separate my kids. Don't separate my kids. And so the beginning stages of being in foster care, I had my siblings with me. And I can remember those very early on, you know, being in that household with all 4 of us together in a family-like setting, you know, going to church on Sundays and Bible study on Wednesdays and choir rehearsals and kids' church. And so, you know, those are some of my fondest memories of my siblings and I at a very young age, like 4 or 5 years old. Yeah.
So, are there any other memories that, like, come to mind like during that time of your stage? You know what I'm talking about elementary age.
Yeah.
So are there any other memories that, like, come to mind in, like, elementary stage of your life?
You know, one of the first memories that I have is like that, and it's the thing that has dictated the way I move, you know what I mean, and the way I've moved in my past. But the thing that I remember the most prevalent was when I was about 8 years old. And it was the first time I can remember having the level of separation from, like, my siblings, my mom, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a space now where it's just me by myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a whole different level of type of, you know what I'm saying, like abandonment. Like, at least before it was like, okay, yeah, I don't have mom, but I have my siblings. You know what I mean? So now it's like you got to learn how to get it up out the mud by yourself and for yourself. You know what I mean? So that's really like what kind of started this whole ripple effect of what it felt like to just, you know, I wasn't fearful of nothing. I started my paper out when I was 8. You know what I mean? So I'm running the streets at 8 years old, got to be up at West Town, you know what I'm saying, stuffing my papers by 12 o'clock midnight, delivering my papers until about 6 o'clock in the morning.
At 8 years old?
At 8, making deals. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, like I said, I didn't get to choose, you know what I'm saying, the journey that I was about to be on. But it was all for purpose. You know what I mean? I do know that. You know what I mean?
So, like that first home where, like, you were separated from your siblings, do you remember what that household was like?
I do. It was really cold. It was a couple in the house. It was in the inner city, you know, right by a school. It was a lot of kids that lived on the street, but I was so isolated. You know what I mean? Like, the woman in the house was very cold and withdrawn, whereas the man in the house, her husband, was very friendly. You know what I mean? I can remember him being like the deacon in the church and just being really nice. You know what I mean? Just being a really nice guy and just, you know, whereas, you know, her intentions might have been different as to why they got kids.
Right.
And I could tell the separation between, you know, discernment. I started having discernment at a very young age. So I was drawn to him because he was so nice, and he really, like, he would, you know, let me use the hammer in the house, and when he would be fixing on stuff, he would be like, hey, Nikki, you know, here, hit this and do this, and, you know, whereas for her, she was very withdrawn from me. And that was the first time I had been in a house where it was so divided. You know what I mean? Like, as far as, like, the energy of the home was so divided.
So did this couple have children of their own, or you was just like...
They did not. They had a couple of grandkids, and it was funny because the neighborhood kids thought that I was one of their grandkids.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I wasn't. So I was one of those kids when we grew up. We were one of those type of kids that were always outside playing.
Yeah.
Like, I could backflip off of anything. You know what I mean? I was always somewhere with a basketball in my hand, and I was always somewhere, you know, just flipping off of stuff, playing football with boys, and we was just always somewhere in the neighborhood running around. In this house, I couldn't leave the porch. You know what I mean? Right. So I had to start understanding what it was like to be inside of yourself outside of yourself at the same time.
Right.
Like I had to create the world in my mind that I knew was possible for me. Like just because I'm stuck on this porch don't mean I'll never be able to go outside and play again.
Right.
It's just a temporary situation. And I had to survive through that. You know what I mean? And so by the time I hit about 9 or 10, wasn't nothing they could do with me.
Wow. So, so what elementary school did you go to?
I was at Wagaman. I was at I went to Trotwood, Madison Park. I was at Whittier. I was everywhere. I went to a lot of different elementary schools.
Was there one school that you kind of liked the most and you were devastated that you had to leave it?
Wagaman.
What'd you like about Wagaman the most?
I loved Wagaman. So by this time we had went back to my mother because we would do that. We would transition in her home and then she would relapse and then Children's Services would step back in again and remove us again. So at this time we were staying on Adelaide.
Adelaide. Yeah.
And I think I loved most about Wagaman was it was all the neighborhood kids.
Yes.
I'm talking about it was all of us that was just, we would walk from Adelaide, McCall area. We would play basketball out there on the crates before we got ready to go to school type thing. So when we got to school, it was like we'd have been hooping already. But it was like just neighborhood kids and we all, we were all experiencing something different. A lot of my friends' parents were on drugs too on Adelaide. You know what I mean? So it was funny because a lot of those kids are the ones that I end up hiring to work for me for my paper route. So by the time I got to Wagaman, I'm like in the 5th grade and I've already been running my paper route now for about 3 years. You know what I mean? So now I'm just trying to hire people because I'm growing. Right. I'm balling at like 11. Like I need staff.
Right.
I hired my brother. I had to fire him. Like my oldest brother. Like I had to fire dude.
Walk me through the day you had to fire your brother.
I had to fire my brother, man. It was so crazy because he was breaking windows and busting out lights and stuff. And I'm like, this costing me, right? Like, you
are how old at this age?
I'm like 10, 11.
And 10 telling him, this ain't good for my business.
This ain't good for business, man.
Right.
You're messing up. I'm going to have to reimburse, you know what I'm saying, these people for this window.
Right.
You fired. Like, he won't let me forget it. He won't let me forget it either. Right. Like,
shout out to Big Bro.
It's all right, bro. I got you on the back end.
Right. So who are some of your day one friends like in that element right there? Like the friends you went to go play basketball with before you went to school at your favorite school?
Hashim. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know Sheen, but Sheen Ball, he had a brother named Taiwan.
Okay.
I'm talking about like we was in the thick of things. Like I'm talking about it was like a whole bunch of movement going around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we was jumping trains.
What?
Man, we was all over the place. But that's when the Delphi was jumping right there,
Oh yeah, right there.
Ren's Market.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of people that was in the neighborhood, with Ren's being there and then Mama Lou's being there. And it was just a lot of influential people in our community that was really looking out for us, but then keeping us out of certain areas. You know what I mean? But Sheen and them was my buddies.
Right. Shout out to them for sure. So, did you ever get a chance to talk? So, where was Dad at during this time? Did you ever get a story of anything?
Yeah. So, my dad was in the military, but he was, he was an alcoholic at the time, too. He was fighting his own battles with addiction. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, because my mother was the one that we were, leave and go back to, I really didn't have a lot of understanding of who my father was or where he was at, other than the fact that I knew my dad was a pro golf player. That made me more angry about my dad, knowing that fact.
Right.
So it was some things that I'm like, okay, y'all shared some things with me, which made the abandonment worse because I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, he around here playing golf, he hitting balls and stuff. He can't come holler at his daughter. You know what I mean? But they didn't talk about his addiction issues.
Right.
My mother's addiction was very prevalent because she was right there. I could see it. You know what I mean? So my father was just absent, and that created a whole different anger for him. Yeah.
Right. So, during this time, so we can use your wisdom from today, looking back then. Is there anything that you wish would have been different at that time of your life?
There are so many things, but really, it wasn't until I got into business for myself that God really showed me the whole picture as to why every single thing mattered. Every single disappointment, every failure, every every drug addiction, every foster home, everything mattered.
20 of them.
I'm talking about 21 foster homes.
20,
all
wow.
of them mattered. You know what I mean? And all of them played a different role as to the purpose side of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So whereas, we grew up pretty like, for me, it's funny because I grew up so happy. You know what I mean? Like, I can remember being extremely happy at moments that were extremely traumatizing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So the things that I wish I would have done that I had known then or would have thought about then would have been to allow that happiness to continue to trump every trauma that I was experiencing. And at times I allowed the trauma to speak louder than the happiness. You know what I mean?
Well, so, like, what kind of trauma were you speaking of when it comes to that? Like, what kind of adversity were you seeing besides the fact that you're disconnected from your family?
Yeah.
You're unrooted from your mother during this time. What other traumas were you facing during that time?
So one of the things that children's service foster care is predicated on is that there is a traumatic situation going on within your own family that you need to be removed from and put into a more healthier environment to be able to help you grow and navigate, be a kid and navigate the world, right? But that's just not the reality. And the early experience that I had with this was, and it was also the reason why I ended up having to go stay in this other foster home separate by myself was, it's interesting because at the age of 2, I was put into like a human trafficking situation.
What?
Yeah. And
I'm so sorry.
So that situation that caused the initial placement in foster care. You know what I mean?
So tell me, human trafficking, what are we talking about?
And people hear human trafficking now, and it's more prevalent now, talking about like selling kids or selling boys and girls for sex. But back then, that wasn't called human trafficking if your brother sold you for sex. Oh. To the neighborhood kids, you know what I'm saying? Or if an uncle sold you for sex. They didn't call that human trafficking then.
Right.
You see what I mean? So it wasn't any like treatment or any discussion about it. It was just like, oh, they were sick. Let's remove this girl from the house and put her somewhere else
without any resources, without any treatment, without any.
Ain't nobody talking to me about why now am I just gone? You know what I mean? And I'm gone somewhere and I have no understanding of, one, what just happened to me, and then 2, like the bad people are people that I love. You know what I mean? Y'all talking about y'all trying to protect me from bad people, but the bad people are the people that I love. I want to be near.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the challenges with separation without explanation and a need to be able to talk through that emotionally. So then you ask me about the experience of what was the trauma even in foster care. Then you take me to a home where, because God has always been my source.
There we go.
At a very, very young age, it's things that he wouldn't allow to break me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, in saying that, I go into a foster home where, again, now this home is like a great family home. We're doing normal family stuff. Yeah, we're actually getting up every day and going to school. Okay. With adults in the house that seem to care about education. Right. We're going to church every Sunday. We're praying and, we're doing family like things, and I'm back with my brothers and my sisters at this point. So yeah, like we've transitioned back into now we're
like it's the best it could get at that point in time.
It's the best it could get at that point in my life. After experiencing what I did at 2, coming now I'm 8, and I'm in this church basement. And the same man that is like my foster father, who is so prevalent in the church, is now touching me in a way that don't make me it doesn't make any sense. Right. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this again.
So, like early in the story, like you were saying, he was kind of being super nice to you and stuff like that. Well, you think he was grooming you in a certain sense?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
how many people out of 10 families that get foster kids, how many are just actually just perverts, man, that just want to molest the kids that they getting?
I can't give a percentage and be honest, but from the outside looking in, where people again think that these are just individuals who have the best interests, who really want to help kids. I mean, even we see them out in the community. Oh, these are my foster care kids. Everybody like, oh my God, you're just so sweet for taking these kids. But individuals don't understand that their own darknesses are being played out. because they're disconnected from these kids. Essentially, they're not minds; they're just people. You know what
When
I mean?
Wow.
So how do you handle it when somebody that you are living with, dependent on, and then they push up on you like this guy's, he comes to you and he starts like literally just fondling your breasts or doing that.
Yeah.
And how old are you at this point?
I'm like 7, 8.
7. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and the thing about it is that
What?
I call you dad. So this is my first introduction as to what a dad is supposed to be like. Because again, now all through the week and all through the, you know what I mean, like you're functioning as dad. So
7.
yeah.
Man, my daughter's 7,
Man, that is just the most terrible thing. So then what? This is it happens. How do you react to it?
You know, one of the things I did was I shut down. I really did. Like and to a level of, again, because I love being outdoors. I love playing basketball. I loved God. I loved everything about church.
Right.
So now when I start to shut down, because we're still doing visits with my mother at this time, we would go over and meet with her at the visitation center. And I can remember my mother looking at me one day and was like, Nikki, like, what's going on? And I was so broken. You know what I mean? That it was like, for my mother to look at me and say that, and for me to be able to tell her at that moment what was going on with me, and my mother to actually, I'm talking about my mother went.
You told your mom?
Off, yes.
Thank God.
I told my mom.
She went off on the man?
She went off. She went off on the caseworker, and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on with my daughter. And like the caseworker said that I had lied about it, that I made it up, that this was a good Christian family. So that's why I was then moved.
Without an investigation? I mean, how does a caseworker do that?
And it's interesting how much of this stuff is documented in my file today. But when I look back at it, it was like, kids are not protected in this system.
Wow. And
the creation of what, like nobody gets to really see. It's almost like, kids in foster care are kind of invisible.
Invisible, yeah.
They're invisible. It's like, you have this sector of people that, again, think like, oh, you're so lucky. You got to get in with a family that's better than your family. You know what I mean?
So let me ask this, because this is something that we talked about one night on the Godcast, right? Who benefits from the foster care system? Like, I'm talking about the big plug, the big benefit.
Government.
The government.
Kids
and the more that they place, do they make money from kids that they place?
Yes.
How does it work?
That's the real human trafficking.
Yeah, that's the real human trafficking.
Definitely so.
It really is. So for me, when you think about the cyclical, generational, because my mother was in foster care.
Oh, wow.
My mother's mother died when she was 2. So again, we got to think about things. Everything is generational. You know what I mean? Until you break that, it's going, you know what I mean? Like the system counts on generation to generation kids coming into this system.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they set it up that way.
Right.
And again, I mean, even for your foster parents, that's just a part of like a puzzle piece in the bigger picture of the government. They don't even realize that. But again, it's all monetarily pushed. We'll give you, $100 per day for an 8-year-old. Who ain't gonna be like, hey, yeah, I can do that. And then I know I got a kid that I can mistreat. And then some people don't understand that they're just that dark.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Some people it's about greed, but some people it is about that other part of them that comes out that's like, I know that this kid, there's no value to it.
So is it
Nobody
like the government is saving money from placing kids in foster home because they don't have to take care of the kids? Or what? All I'm trying to figure out is like with welfare, okay?
Yes.
We was talking about that the other day, and we was talking about like who benefits from people being on welfare?
Yeah.
Is there an agenda to have people on welfare? And if so, are they doing shit to keep people fucked up so they're actually on welfare? And the same thing with the same thing with the foster care system. I mean, for you to say, look, I've been molested, it should be an open and shut case. So you say you tell them what's going on.
Yeah.
What happens? What happens
They say
with
that
it
I
to the
was
family?
lying.
They say you lying, but
Yep.
do you have to stay with the
No,
father?
they
still?
actually moved me, and again, that was like at that age of 8 when being separate. It was a punishment.
Did you ever confront? I mean, did he ever confront you about saying that these things happened? Did y'all see each other again after you?
We
after
did.
you?
We did.
What did he say?
Because, you know, I was trying to. I don't know if I really understood to the extent being that young. Like I just felt like I shouldn't have said anything. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I should have just be quiet because it cost me more than what I felt like I gained at that time. You know what I mean? Right. And you know, there was a look like even in his wife's face that I could remember just kind of looking at her and just she knew.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? And you know, before he passed away, it's interesting because I'm talking about this was probably 10 years ago before when he passed. And I remember him being at the hospital and his wife asking me to come see him, that he had wanted to talk to me. And I just couldn't. I just couldn't because you couldn't give me back the 30 years that I, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't take me back that place of being 8 again in reverse.
And you didn't owe him that.
I didn't owe you that on your deathbed.
Oh yeah, he wanted
know
to try to
repentance
say
be.
sorry because he knew he was about to die. So he hoped that the Most High would give him some
I knew
forgiveness.
him my whole life.
You knew him afterwards too?
I knew him my whole life.
Did you guys ever talk again after?
Nope.
Oh, he wanted to reach out to you on his deathbed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, you know, and again, you know, that's what happens though when people think that they own the right to your healing all those years. So you don't have to apologize to me on your deathbed.
Right.
You don't owe me that, and I don't owe you whatever forgiveness I've done for myself. I don't have to give that and prove it to you.
Say that.
Right.
You know what I
You've
mean?
been forgave him.
And because you have
right.
not held up my healing, you don't have to talk to me 20 years later to apologize.
Right.
You know what I mean? God has made it prevalent. He covered your sin already. So you can rest. You know what I mean? If you're waiting for me to let you rest, you can rest.
So let me ask you this. Look, we talking about the Most High and we dealing, but I just want to ask just interesting thoughts. Something so traumatic like, man, being raped as a child, being molested, moving from 21 different families is it's tough and it can make you tough. I understand that,
Absolutely.
you know, but do you like what is the point in being raped? And I'm not saying you ever were raped though, Nicole, you know, but I'm saying like for the people who have went through that, is there a reasonable method to that madness? Like, is there a reasonable understanding of why a beautiful young princess has to get raped by a maniac, a devil? Like, it's so tough. Like, I can understand some struggle. You know, struggle makes you tough, but some struggle is a lot.
Oh, are you saying in the eyes of the Most High? Like,
I'm saying like, and I know we can't think how the Most High thinks, and we don't know what He's training us for. But that seems just so fucked up, man. You know, for you to have to experience this shit, and some people never fucking. Some people never get it straight. They go through a bunch of shit and then die.
Yes.
It never straightens out for you, man. Like that shit does happen.
Yes.
And what are we living in? What are we a part of, man? Like I'm gonna go on for just a little longer to as another point.
Yeah.
You know, we just gonna talk about the philosophy of the Bible for a second, okay?
Yeah.
The Bible says that there's a story that says that the Most High was angry with Satan because he challenged him and he kicked his ass out of heaven. To where?
To down here.
And then you put
traumatize all of us.
Then you put your baby in a cage with this raging fucking maniac. And then when he fucks us all up and tricks us, knowing how powerful he is, we get blamed for the shit.
Yeah.
How the fuck we supposed to defend ourselves against this raging lunatic that is hell bent on destroying us?
Right.
Yeah.
And we innocent. We don't know shit.
Yeah.
He like, haha, tricked you to eat the apple, motherfucker. And it's like, oh, damn, now we in trouble for that shit. And not only are we in trouble for that shit, we didn't even eat the motherfucking apple.
Yeah.
Adam ate the fucking apple. But
Yeah.
now we all punished to have to go through all this fucked up shit. Like, I hate doing wrong.
Yeah.
I feel so terrible after I do wrong.
Absolutely.
But that shit is just always fucking around, and some of it is fun to do, and you fucking fall off and do it.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like, damn, what the fuck am I a part of? I don't even want to do this shit. And so my whole point in all of this shit is just kind of like, man, what the fuck are we a part of?
Yeah.
Where a baby is raped. Like, oh my God, man. That is just,
Yeah.
it's too evil, man.
Unimaginable.
It's too evil.
Yeah.
And then the rapist gets defended and the innocent child gets called a liar.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And that happens so much.
Yeah.
Man, that's a
Believe
lot,
your kids,
man.
man.
And then you
your
have
kids.
people that are on the opposite side of that. When you talk about this world, you know, I'm sitting in classrooms now with teachers who are talking about kids who are destructive and noisy in class and can't sit still, and girls who are fighting and violent. And it's like, but have you asked
Why?
why? I mean, you know what I mean? But if you
Have
have
you
a whole
understand?
world of people that's turning a blind eye to when this child begins to change, and everybody now is saying the same things about this kid. The same thing, all these labels. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Troublemaker, violent, you know, ADHD, ADD. Have anybody stopped to just look at the kid and ask, like,
Why?
why?
Man, what are you going through in a
What are you
real
going
way?
through in a real way?
And yeah, not to degrade them.
Yes.
Right. So to me, like, the perfect segue, because my next question is going to ask you, what kind of student were you? So let's make a A and a B. What kind of student were you before the assault, and what kind of student were you after the assault?
You know, one of the things was I always loved school. Now, I didn't like classroom work.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
I
be around the
love-
people and kicking it, have a good time,
I
laughing,
love
joking.
school. Like, I love being in school. I love lunch. I love recess. I love playing basketball in the gym.
That's 90% of school
like,
to me.
that's 90% of school. If I could do that, I'm here
Yeah,
every
no
day.
paperwork.
I'm here all day,
Yeah.
every day. Would you say I needed to spell? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So school was like a place of happiness for me. That's why I said it was like these moments when I came in and out of. But like, as far as like grades, I was always one of those kids too that hated to get stuff wrong. I'm really hard on myself as that's concerned. Like,
Yeah.
even though I didn't like school, I hated failure.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it pushed me to do what I needed to do in the classroom, and then it also became the thing that I used to also be able to have the basketball, like to be able to play the way I wanted to. So
Right.
I wasn't like, you know what I mean? I was an A student, but it was just basically because it was like, I'm very analytical.
Right.
I think that's why I said even at the age of 8, I could tell you numbers, and I knew how many houses I was trying to hit. I'm talking about I could be like, okay, I'm gonna start at this block right here to that block down there, and I'm gonna be there in 8 minutes. Like, I was always challenging myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That made me think of this parallel when Smad was downstairs when he was pressing up shirts. He started timing himself. I'm like, man, who are you timing it against? You know what I
Man,
mean?
real
But
talk.
yeah.
But
that's
and I
dope.
mean, and I would be disappointed. Like, man, it took me 8 minutes. It took me 8 minutes to get down this
Yeah,
block.
'cause
Like, it should have took me 6.
Yeah,
like,
and we want to figure out how much work we can get done in a
Real
period of
talk.
time, and especially if you gonna pay somebody to do this work
Come on.
for you, you
gotta
want to know what to expect from them.
I tell
What
my
is the
staff to this day,
production
like,
rate?
absolutely not. That did not take you 4 hours.
Right, right, hell
It took you
no,
1.
right.
So you deducting 3 hours for yourself. Like,
Draw
don't play
parallel.
with yourself.
I can draw a parallel in anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but after
Yeah.
the assault, what kind of student were you?
Again, I believe that it was still like the one place of safety for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, even when I was at Waldman, I can remember us staying downtown in the shelter when the shelter was on 5th Street. Me and my little sister was with my mom at the time, and my older siblings, they was off in other houses and stuff. But me and my little sister stayed in the 5th Street shelter, and I can remember the cab used to have to come pick us up. And it would drop us off at the school, and I'm like, man, just drop me off around the corner.
yeah.
Like, just drop me off around the corner. Like, I ain't trying to let everybody see me pulling up in no cab.
Right.
Because, again, that was like my place where I could play ball. You know what I mean?
You
And
could be
then
normal at school.
I could be normal at school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even after the assault, somewhere along the lines, and again, I don't even know why God made me this way. But trauma has never been able to set in me.
Right.
It's one of those things that's on me and I'm gone from it.
It's a repellent, like
It's
it
like
hits
I'm
you
talking
and it fall
about
right off of it.
it's just gonna blow right up off me.
Man.
It's like rain X. It's like rain X.
I'm
Right.
talking about real talk.
Right.
Like, and I
That's hard.
I've never been able to really tell people what that's like. You know what I'm saying? Because when people see me go through stuff, they like. And I see my friends who go through stuff and they in the room for 2 months in the dark room like I ain't ate nothing. I ain't
Oh my God.
And then you
I'm
like, that
like,
ain't shit.
What you still crying
Bro,
for?
Man.
bro.
Shit, I could have flipped 4 businesses by now.
Man, I can't.
talk.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What you gonna?
I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't go through a day where I don't feel as good as I did another day, where the shit didn't flow in like
And
we
then the
wanted.
next day, I'm disappointed that I had that day. So I'm trying to flip that day
Man.
to double up. You know what
Man.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I got other things to do because, you know what I mean? And I've learned to give myself permission
Right.
Yeah.
to be okay with being in the space that I need to be in. After 11/17, when my dude passed away,
R.I.P. man.
you know what I mean? I had to be like, God, I need a minute. You know what I'm saying? I know you want me to still be out here saving people and but I just need a couple of seconds. You know what I mean? Like, this man really taught me what love was from a different perspective. Like, he showed me it was okay. I didn't have to run when trauma hit. I could sit in trauma and he gonna love me through it.
There you go.
And we gonna work through it, talk through it, and he gonna still love me the next day.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Whereas I had not had that experience before. So I had to ask God permission, just give me a minute. God gave me like a year. And I'm like, even though you could see me still out here doing what I need to do for Serendipity. Doing business-wise, so people thought I was okay. But really, that was really Shondale's, because no creativity was moving at the time. That's how I know when my vision is off.
Right.
And my focus is not laser focused. I need a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, no disrespect to your
Yeah.
current, I just want to ask, what are some of the great traits about him that, like, you could speak of, like, to him and his character?
You know, one of the things about his name was Tyrone. I called him T-Baby.
Okay.
One of the things about his character was that he was confident in himself. When he came to me on full. You know what I mean? And it's the difference when a man comes to you that you got to pour into and get his level of confidence up. Especially when you a black woman in business, they know you know what I mean, what I have, you know, you can read about me on Google, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes when black men come, it's like this whole need to be built up to understand that you know what I'm saying, that whatever you got going on, you don't have to match me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You are
You
enough.
just have to be on full yourself so that you don't subtract from me.
There we
You know what I
go.
mean? So that's one of the things when he came to me on full.
Yeah.
And allowed me to be on full. So when we talked about planning things together, it wasn't like, okay, let me pick you up first, give you your self-confidence to let you know how you fit into this equation so you could stand in it, because I'm going to carry my position.
Right.
You just be confident enough to carry your own.
Right.
And that's what he brought to the table.
Right.
He was just so smooth. He smoked. We had a good time.
Okay.
He was older, so it was like he was good and settled. But, you know, he had been in the military, so he was very disciplined. You know, and again,
Did you kind
He
of
was
tap
safe.
into that a little bit too, like about him being so disciplined? Because like you were disciplined when it comes to business already
Yes.
from like
Yeah.
is that like the same highway y'all both were on? In that?
yes, he loved what he did. He had he cut hair. He didn't have to cut hair for money because he was already established.
Right.
But he found purpose in cutting hair. And he loved cutting hair. So it wasn't like he was like, oh man, I got to go in here and cut hair every day. Pfft.
Right.
You know, you get to run around here and sell drugs and kick with people and smoke weed all day.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do that. Nah,
Right.
he like, I'm going to go cut hair because this is I love
Passion.
doing this.
Yeah.
Passion. He loved talking to people. He loved spending time with people, making them look good.
The barbershop is the last
Man.
speakeasy we got. The last place
Yeah.
free speech exists is in a
Yeah.
barbershop, and don't you ever take it out.
Yeah,
We got
real
some
talk.
comments real quick.
Okay.
As keep up the good work. Probably talking to me. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, family. And then that's Jasmine Brown said, hey, family.
Hey,
Giovanni
sister.
Jenkins.
Downtown Brown.
Giovanni Jenkins said, "You are so strong. Thanks for telling your
Giovanni.
story. You're gonna give a lot of girls strength.
Yeah.
Most
Thank
deaf,
you.
most deaf for sure."
Thank
And then
you.
Jay Jones in this thing,
Jay
man.
Jones.
Hey, Shondale.
Chef.
Yes, sir.
Word.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Somebody else said something, but they erased their comment.
Why would you do that?
Because they didn't want to give the
Are you
compliments to me
kidding
in
me?
front of Smeg. Smeg always shoot down when
They
they say,
erased
Peanut,
it.
you look nice
And
today.
somebody that said,
Yeah.
"Keep up the good work." When I said they was talking to me, they erased
They
it.
raised it. Like, no,
They wasn't
let me put the
talking
name in there. Put it up. Shondale.
They knew what about you.
I'm just playing. See, you were so ready.
You know, take a point on them for trolling me, man. So, what we
Love
doing
you
the
all,
story?
Jay Jones.
So-
He said, "Love you all."
Love you.
Love Jay Jones.
Love
man.
you, Jay.
See you Saturday. bro.
Appetizer. Is this Saturday, right?
Saturday. This
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Serendipity will be there.
Jay,
Hey, Serendipity is going to be
Chef
at
Jay.
Appetizer.
We got to put a title in front of Chef Jay.
Platinum Chef Jay.
Platinum Chef Jay.
Yeah.
Platinum Chef Jay.
Respectfully.
What's up with
Yeah.
you, King?
And you
Love
know you got to
bro.
tap in with for the appetizer.
Tony
anyway.
Gibson just checked in and said, "The Empress."
The Empress.
Oh, the Emperor.
That's hard.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so now we're in the story of middle school. Where'd you go
Yeah.
for middle school?
Wooberite.
Wilburite.
Wooberite.
What was that experience like for you from going through so many different schools to finally having a
It was
flagship
so
school?
crunk.
All right,
I ain't gonna lie.
Let's go.
I'm talking about Wooberite was the place where like all the magic came together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was like I had played like organized basketball like with the Mohawks when I was little. You know what I mean? And so I never played with the school though because I was always just
In and out.
In
Lit.
and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be here long anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Like thing. Like I'm gonna be in the school today, out tomorrow.
That what Tony Ruby
So-
said. Like Tony was like, man, ain't no reason to get
Ain't no
this.
reason
Like,
to give me no uniform. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to give it back tomorrow. Like
I'm in and out, yeah.
Yeah, but like when I went to Wooberite, I mean by then I was grown. I mean for real, I was like 12, but I was like super grown.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean-
I was able to go in spots where other little kids couldn't come into, like you know Mama Lou's and Jack Top. And,
Yeah.
You know Blue Note when Blue Note was on in that apartment building on Adelaide.
You only had a business
Yeah.
for 4 years at this point already.
Yeah, like
so
I was
Yeah.
in the traps. You know,
Yeah.
people talk about trap houses. Y'all don't know trap houses.
Hey,
Like,
fuck
I know
that.
trap houses, you
So-
know.
yeah.
So when I got to Wooberite, I was grown, but I was in a place of just I was angry. You know what I mean? I was angry. I was sad. You know what I mean? It was like my voice had been shut down after that situation from like 8. I just remember not even talking. For real. It was like the enemy had taken my voice. You know what I mean? And so all I had was again basketball and running around the neighborhood. You know, and so when I got to Wooberite though, it was a teacher, Miss Harris.
Shout out to Miss Harris.
Man, Miss Harris, Miss Carolyn Harris, I'm talking about that woman changed. That's why I said sometimes it just takes the right person to just look at you
Yes.
and see potential, see your purpose. Even at an early age, Miss Harris, you know, I would be skipping class. I'm always in the gym. I'm supposed to be in math, and I'm in the gym. And she just started noticing me always in the gym. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you supposed to be. She like, well, listen, I'm the basketball coach. You know what I mean? And I've seen you play. How about you come and play for me? And I'm like, you really got to be kidding me.
Wow.
Like, you really got to be kidding me. I knew I was in a shitty foster home at this time, and I had been tired of being told no. So I was just to the point now where it's like I just stay out of everybody's way. You don't bother me. I don't bother you. And so when she asked me to play for her, it was like, nah, I don't even want to go through all that dealing with the system and them having to give permission for it. And over the next couple of weeks, she just kind of you know what I'm saying, every few days she just pop up like
Right.
on me. I'm in the hallway skipping class.
She like, hey, what you doing?
Like, all right,
Yeah.
come in here, Shondale, come and help me, because she wasn't even one of my teachers. She was the like the teacher for the special needs kids.
Okay. Yeah.
So she would take me into her classroom and let me just hang out with her and the special needs kids, and I enjoyed being around them. I enjoyed helping her help them, and you know what I mean? It was like I just fit.
Right.
I just fit, and she gave me a deal that I couldn't resist one day. She said, well, how about this? If I pay for your basketball shoes, you know, she found out I was in a foster home and some of my situation. And she said, well, if I paid for your basketball shoes and paid for your physical, would you come play for me? And I'm like, yeah, because I like being around you. You've shown me that you care.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't come at me scalding me first, like, get out of these hallways, and you know you ain't. she didn't come at me like that. She just came at me and showed me that she cared.
Yeah,
You know?
I want to pause right there because Will Smith is an interview we did with Legendary People Podcast, and Will Smith spoke on his having that same delicate approach when it comes to kids, because you will see a kid at school not knowing if he even ate that morning, if he got his you don't know if it's a mom at home or grandma at home. You don't know where that child is coming from. So and also, you know, so we had the teachers on here for the
Yeah, that was really good.
yeah, and it's like
the what is it? The circle.
Yep, the circle. Our female counterparts.
Yeah,
the
that's
circle,
our
right?
sister show.
Yeah, and they are some of those queens out there that are doing that type of work, because a lot of times you got to understand that if you are a teacher, you are dealing with the future, right?
Yes.
Like if you are a doctor, you do a malpractice suit, you're killing somebody's end or somebody who's like. But if you are a teacher, you can literally help the future or kill it right there in the track.
Yeah.
So I want to say this right now. My teacher that helped me was Mr. Lawrence, man. He saw something in me I didn't see in myself. And ironical, it was probability and statistics is what the class was. And I do that every day for stocks, man. That is super dope. So
that is.
yeah, so like having that teacher believe in you, even though it's a teacher's assistant, what was it like for your confidence at that time?
And you know, the deal that she gave me was, and I tell adults this today, like even like you said, if you're in an educational role or whatever your role is in a kid's, young people's life, you know, the one thing Miss Harris did for me was that she gave me a deal that kept me close to her,
engaged,
right? Engaged. So she like, I'm gonna buy your shoes, I'm gonna pay for your physical, you good, but what I'm gonna require is that you come to work for me at the concession stand.
There we go.
You know what I mean? And so she's teaching me to shop.
Yep.
You know, we going to Sam's Clubs on Saturday morning. We going, you know, I'm working the concession stand. I'm learning all about money, for real money, like really, you know what I'm saying? Which I already had that experience being in the street, but like being with an adult that really showed interest in you.
Yeah.
And then I was good at basketball. So I'm starting now, and because I can do backflips and stuff, the cheerleading coach like, hey, why don't you come and cheer? And I'm like, I ain't no girl. I'm a baller. Like, what are you tripping?
I want buckets.
I make buckets. What you talking about cheer?
The pom-pom, the ball go right there.
Man, I told her she got me a different outfit that I would do it. And don't you know that this woman went out and got me a different outfit? Like I had like the little gymnastic outfit, like a little tight thing, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to wear no skirt. I didn't have to do none of that. Like, don't do that. Like,
they came and got you.
Came and got me.
Okay.
I was flipping all through that gym. So I just had a good time with the right. It just really, you know what I mean? I had good Miss Painter, Tony Painter. She's married to Mayor Mims now.
Shout out to Mayor Mims.
Shout out to the mayor, baby.
Yeah, so
I
his
brag.
wife was my
I always
teacher.
keep bragging the fact that the mayor came here, man.
Yeah,
Man, I'm telling
Mayor on
you,
the God
he's
cast.
super
Man,
cool guy.
good-
But his
good
wife
bro.
was my teacher,
Good,
man.
good
She's
brother,
OP.
man.
Great brother.
Good
Yeah,
brother, man.
yeah.
Good brother. In case I ever get in trouble, good brother.
Say call on him.
And then we got a judge that's running for office.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be on the show next week.
Yeah, word.
I'll be here. I got questions. I got questions. Yeah.
Okay, so middle school, like in that respect, you know what I'm saying, you're kind of flourishing at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the incubator that power who you're gonna be. Like during this time, like other than the profession that you chose, which are multiple paths, what is something during that core part of your life you feel like if you focus fully on that, you could have been something else?
Oh man, you know, I wish I would have really stayed with, because even when I was younger, it was like I knew I wanted to advocate for other people. I was always in trouble advocating for other people.
Yeah.
Like I'm always in somebody else's mess. Like, hey, you can't even. She wasn't wrong. She didn't do this. So I knew very early on that was my gift, was to care about other people. You know what I mean? And so I always said I wanted to get into law, and I wished had I stayed on that educational path, you know, I would have been in that. But God took me somewhere else where education didn't have to apply.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So now I can circle back around to it.
There we
you
go.
know.
Okay.
So
then you go to Colonel White.
It was all bad.
What was the experience of transition from a school that, I mean, you have a cultivating system that's watering the beautiful flower that you develop into. What's it like to now move to Colonel White? What is that very first initial experience like?
I went through abandonment again. it was like a separation anxiety out of this world. Like, not only now am I no longer with Miss Harris, who has been the foundation of the things, everything about my middle school experience, you know, 7th and 8th grade. It was almost like those years made me forget all the other shit that had happened. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So now I'm moved again to another home, and I'm with new people in a new school.
Right.
With individuals that I really didn't know me, didn't know my background. And when I came in 9th grade, again, I'm like 14, I was really off the chain then.
Right.
I was really like, I had went through that period again where now I know I don't have Miss Harris that I get to see every single day.
Right.
Every day I'm seeing Miss Harris. The only day I might not see her was Sundays. But every day I'm either working with her or I'm at her practice. We at a game. We doing something, concessions. We doing something every single day. So when I got to Colonel White, it was like, I ain't coming to school.
Like, so for instance, like at your last school, it felt like a home. At this place, it felt like a building.
It felt like a building. And again, I'm still good at basketball though.
Right.
So the goal is I'm going to Colonel White to play basketball. I have other people in the school with me that played basketball with me at Wilburite. Now we went from middle school, you know what I'm saying, like me and Brandy Davison and Angel.
There you go. Like, shout them out.
Yeah, I'm talking about like those was my people.
Who
like
are they?
Jessica Benson.
Okay, there we go.
Jessica Benson, she cuts hair. You know what I'm saying?
I know Jessica.
Jessica.
Dayton Barber.
Dayton Barber.
Yeah.
She I'm talking
come
about
here and get shirts
I'm talking
made
about me
with
and
me all
her.
the time.
So when I would run away from my foster home,
That's
I would
Jarvis'
be hiding
mom.
in Jessica's basement.
Jarvis'
mom. Man, I would be hiding in Jessica's basement. Her mom didn't know that I'd be down there in the basement, like, but we were all over right, and they became my family. You know what I mean? Like, they really was. We was just a tight knit basketball team. So then, you know, when me and Brandy and Angel and all of us left Wilburite and went to Colonel White, I still had that part of it, but I was still real lost, like real lost, like. Real lost. I wasn't with none of my family members. It was just me, my little sister for real. But it was like I was real lost.
Right. So eventually you get pregnant.
Yeah.
So is this somebody who you were in, like? Is this like a boyfriend during this time, or is it?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I was off the chain. So in Colonel White, the reason why I made it through Colonel White, to tell the truth, was I showed up to school every single day because that's where my money was at.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that building was profitable for me. You know what I mean? Like, I went from selling papers to selling, like, other things and other people and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy to me how...
Selling other people?
And I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you because it's the one thing, you know, like, even with my movie coming out.
Yeah.
It's a part of my life that people really didn't know that I was living in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even, you know, my kid's father didn't know that, you know, I had taken what I was taught at a very young age as to how it was perceived that people are invaluable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People became, because
$1.
You know what I mean? And that was planted in me at such a young age. So when I got to Colonel White, and again, I wasn't one of those fast girls.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those ones that's like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people around me, and I'm like, that ain't my thing.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what you want to do? Well, you might as well make some money for it.
Yeah.
Like, what you out here doing this for? And you say you good, so how about we put $1 to this? I'm talking about when I say I was like, Colonel White was like, the grounds were all like, I made so much money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
On the Bishop Don Magic One.
Man, listen, I'm in the door, through the basement, through the tunnel, and out the door.
Yeah.
And I'm timing myself on how much time it's going to take me to get from the top of these stairs to the money down in the basement. And out the door with it. You know what I mean? Right. And I did that for about 4 years. About 4 or 5 years. And...
Kevin Easley said he watching from Arkansas. What's up?
Hey, he all over the He was just in the Bronx last show.
Man,
he Bronx.
Yeah, the BX and B next.
Candace Lynn said she loved this. Checking in. Right. Is this Taria Stanley?
Taria Stanley, that's my daughter.
That's your daughter. Said so proud of you, mama, and put a bunch of hearts up.
Aww.
Man, she loving on you.
That's my baby. That's what God gave me to be able to say, you know what? You're going down the wrong path. I'm gonna have to give you something to put you into a different direction.
So, so like, how did that work? Like during the time that, you know what I'm saying, you're doing, you know what I mean? You are a person that's a hurt person that's hurting other people because you're a hurt person at that point in time. We're not going to You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you have to.
Yeah.
Because the whole thought behind that cliche, hurt people, is why hurt people continue to hurt people. It's because we've given them these cliches that don't absolutely align with the fact that you don't have permission to do that.
Yeah, just because
you
was hurt.
I don't even need you to give me the okay, like you was hurt, so that's why you did it. Shondale did it because Shondale was in a dark space.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so now the accountability is on it. Now God can do something with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you meet the child's father, y'all together, and then
I'm 16. He 38.
Damn. Where did you meet him at?
And around the hood, he was one of the money men. You know what I mean? He was the one that, he was the man. He was the one with the money. He had the spots, and he was somebody I grew up around, though. My mother was in bootleg joints when we was little. That was mainly the people that I looked up to, was the people who owned bootleg joints back then.
Yeah.
So I crossed a lot of path of older men.
Right.
But my mother loved older men. You know what I mean? So it just was like it was on me.
Right. So let me and Smith talk about this. Like a lot on the show where, like for instance, I remember being at Meadowdale or in high school, and it'll be those girls that is completely off limit because they are messing with guys that are way outside of our stratosphere because they are like I don't want to call them fast, but they are dealing with men that are like they dealing with men and we are still boys. And for me in our maturation process. Yeah. Was it a lot of that courting going on when it came to you, or was it like that one guy was the one for you?
That was just the one guy. You know what I mean? And again, because he was already inside of my situation. You know what I mean?
Like your belly loop of things, you would see him because you're doing business.
You know what I'm saying? He was already inside my situation. He was already friends with my family, my mom and him. He was already in the same hood. So anytime I ran away from my foster homes, I'm going straight to gangster courts because that's where my mom is at. I'm going straight to the baths because that's where my mother is at, and that's where this man was at. You know what I mean? So it was easy.
So I'll ask you a question. So in the hindsight, such as what I'm saying, like from your perspective today, looking back. Was some of the things he did predatory towards you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? But in my mind then, I was grown.
Right. So
I wasn't even the typical 14, 15-year-old in a school building.
Right.
I wasn't talking about none of the stuff they was talking about.
Right.
I'm coming in playing basketball, we practicing, and I'm back out the door to go deal with some grown people.
Right.
Y'all talking about what y'all did at homecoming. I ain't go to no homecomings.
Right.
I didn't go to no football games. The only ball game I was at was the one I was playing in. Like, I didn't do none of that. So, like, even the men at that point, the boys in the school, they wasn't hitting on me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, again, in my mind, it's like I'm grown. I'm supposed to be with somebody that's 30, 40 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was a baby. I ain't no crap.
Right.
Do you think that there is a possibility that somebody that's 38 or so could truly care about somebody that's 16 years old?
Absolutely. The one thing I tell people is, and it's the reason why I know, like, his relationship with me was, he truly cared. Because there were times when, like I said, he had no idea what I was doing as far as that side hustle. He had no idea about that. And I knew that he would not approve, right? But also, when I started skipping school, because he had bought me a car when I was like 16, he gave me a car. And I remember him telling me the only thing I had to do was go to school, right? And I remember me and my girl skipping school. We down on the coast. We done went to the coast, to go hang out lunchtime. We down here kicking, and I'm skipping school every day at this point. When I say we come outside, my car gone. I'm like, man, these fools that stole my car. Like, I gotta call this man and tell him that these fools out here that stole, they got my car.
Joe, I stole my car, Joe.
Why did he steal his car? And I call him. I'm trying to run game. Like, man, hey, they done stole this car. I don't know what I'm gonna do, boss. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to fake crowd. Like, oh, God.
They done stole it from the school.
Like, they stole it from the school. He asked me, he said, man, they stole your car from the school. I'm like, no, well, what happened was, and he like, I don't know what you gonna do. He said, just go back to the school. He said, who you with? I'm like, Key. He like, just get back to the school. I'll be up there. We gonna talk about it. When I say when he pulled up to the school, this dude had my records, my school. Like, he had like a printout of some stuff. Like, okay, you ain't go to this class. You ain't been to this class. You got an F in this class.
Wow.
Had a whole
Damn.
printout. And I'm sitting there like, why would you even come do that? Like,
That's what you do.
How did you get access to this shit?
Like, that's what this is about? Like,
Wait a second. The very first thing that like, wait.
always flip it on
This is why I love females, and we will always love females for these moments.
listen.
Not the fact that she was caught red-handed. She turned and say, what you doing being all concerned about my grades? Like,
Why would you?
my car got stolen.
Yeah. And he like, you'll get the car back when you turn these grades around.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sophomore, and I'm like, this is what I got to do. You know what I mean? So I believe that there was things about being in that relationship with him that made me better. It made me grow up. You know what I mean? Like, really grow up. I thought I was grown, but it really made me grow up.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So eventually you get pregnant, and then what is your next step after that?
So I have my daughter, Taria.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Shout out to
Rhea
Rhea.
in the building.
Man, at this time, I'm in this foster home. And me and this lady, we really cool. I'm thinking that, you know what I'm saying, I've been there for a little while and everything. And my caseworker show up that day, and she tells me that my daughter, like, I can't take my daughter. We not going back to that home. Like, I can't take my daughter with me, that, you know, things were changing, and that, you know, they rather her going to a home with infants and toddlers, and that's what this woman wanted to do. And, you know, I could go ahead, I could get her back after I got finished with school, or when they found me a place to live with her and I. And I'm like, dang, like, I just had her.
So we
That
had
is so fucked up, man.
we had Jacqueline Chai on the interview,
Right.
Legendary interview, and she talked about when she had her baby in foster care. It's kind of like a thing that they do where
Janelle and Nay.
Janelle
Oh,
Lene.
Janelle Lene. I
Lene.
mixed them up. Two legendary
baby.
interviews.
My
Two legendary
baby.
interviews that are amazing. And like she spoke about her kid being taken from her, and she had to literally fight to get it back. Was that a similar situation?
Yes. And one of the things is they really try to convince you that it's better for you and it's better for this child somehow. Like, you're too young, you're in foster care, we want to really help. So, like, by giving me another trauma, you know what I mean? Like, now I'm having to fight for a daughter that I didn't do anything to lose.
That is the most scandalous thing that ever happened, man.
Yeah, like, I'm fighting
Like,
for a kid that I didn't do nothing to lose.
And like, you know, man, they would have to find a family who would be willing to take you both in or put you guys in a place where y'all could stay together in some government foster home, like Shawnee Acres. I don't know, but can't separate the child from the mother, man. That shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's
But
just
they
they
do
just
that shit.
re-traumatize kids every year in this system. It's just a re-trauma, you know what I'm saying, traumatization where one minute you think okay, I went through that, good, I'm good. And the next minute they like, wow, okay, here go another one. Oh man, like, so that's really how the Mustard Seed Foundation was birthed. Was through my own experience with, like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I haven't done anything yet. Like, at least let me, like, not feed her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me, like, not change her first. Let me, like, make a mistake as a parent.
Like, let me
before
be
we have this
neglectful in
conversation.
nature.
Let me be neglectful before we have to have this conversation. Because you're traumatizing her and I. For what purpose?
Right, because
So what about the father though?
Yeah.
Why couldn't the baby?
So that's what
stay
ended up
with the
happening
dad?
was we ended up and that's my first time I can remember my voice being so loud. Like, that was my first introduction of how God really taught me to advocate for myself.
Your
Like,
voice.
talk, like, speak up, like, your voice isn't gone. And so I believe that He gave me my daughter to give me my voice back.
Right.
Because that was the first time that I was like, hold on, time out. She has a dad. She has grandparents. You're not putting my daughter in a foster home. You could put her in her dad's house.
Right.
You could send me wherever you want to send me to, but you're going to take her and send her to her dad's people and him. And that way I know I have to get her back.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know they're not going to try to take her and
Right.
keep her. You know what I mean?
So
and that's what we did.
So if does a child have say in a home that they want to stay in?
No.
So at 16, can you say I don't want to go to that house?
No.
No.
You can, but it's not. It's you
Yeah.
going.
So what happens if you say, "Well, I'm going to run away"? They put you
I
in
ran
jail.
away all the time.
You go to jail for that?
You do go to jail. It's an unruly charge against you. When they pick you up, they'll take you down to juvenile. They release you, put you back in another home. You know, I done been in locked facilities, but you know, I was a runner, so you Yeah.
Man, that shit is just the most
traumatizing shit.
Well,
You could
bro,
think, like,
nobody-
that is
nobody,
what she mean.
like-
Wait. She didn't even add that layer of trauma to her plate because she got so much already on it.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like, a kid being locked up,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
another level of trauma.
Yeah.
That's another level of trauma. Anybody been
That's
locked
some
up,
shit.
know, like, man.
Yeah. And those mental health facilities that they say they put you in are like the Sean
Well-
Acres or like jails. They baby prisons.
yeah, and
They're
the thing,
conditioning you to get you ready to go to prison.
and the
technically.
whole thing is that you are actually running away from something that you hate out of no fault of your own. Like, it ain't like you gotta say so as to where you're gonna go.
Real talk.
And they put you in any house from any weirdo,
Yep.
any good person
Yeah.
that might want you. Like, we don't
Yeah.
know where you're going, you know? And it's like, damn,
yeah.
that's
Catch-22.
that's hard. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And people expect you to still function normally.
right.
Like, what is normal in our world?
Man,
Like,
yeah. So your daughter does get a chance to go and live with her dad.
She does. She does. And then her and I went into a home with Shelby Leonard.
Okay.
And one of the houses I went into before we went to Shelby's was this house out in Trotwood. And then that's when I went into Trotwood High School. I was a whole terror there. So we're going to act like I didn't go to that building, okay? Like,
But-
we're just going to just...
But for the sake of the story, what kind of terrorist acts were you putting on right now? Like,
You know, it was like nothing about Trotwood fit me. Like nothing about Trotwood. Back then in the 90s when like
yeah.
it was like the Sedity,
Prestige.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
like, you're kidding me. These were nothing but like
Yeah.
Licks.
more maids. Like these are licks. Like these girls are these are really cute girls from 2-parent households. Oh,
Yeah.
they ready. Like
Who
They
did
ready.
an interview when they said it like they went to a school where it was like Trotwood. They were too fresh and then they dropped. It was
They
on
just
our
came.
Lonnie Black.
Lonnie Black.
Lonnie
yeah.
Black went to. I love our stories, man. The timeline of dating is so
Yeah.
thick. He said he went to Trotwood and he was like, man, dudes fresher than him. They wasn't
Yeah.
checking for him. He was just cool in his last school. He ain't cool there. He out. Like,
Yeah, he left.
that was my story. Like, she got a baby. Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I
Yeah.
came there with a baby in Trotwood. They like, man, we seen you at Trotwood, Madison Park. You
Right.
was like in the 3rd grade, and now you come back with a baby. Like,
Right.
where you been?
Right.
So, yeah.
So with life being a bar, right? So
Yeah.
so that happened to you. Planted the mustard seed. That planted the
Yeah,
mustard seed
that
for the
planted the
foundation.
mustard seed.
Man, come on, man, give me a point.
Yeah.
Real lit.
So what were the fundamental principles when you grafted to make the Mustard Seed Foundation?
You know, the foundational principle was that, and I didn't know this at the time when he called me, because he gave me the vision when I was like 19.
Okay.
I can remember it vividly, giving me the vision.
What did he say?
He sent me to a place that used to be owned by this Catholic Social Services agency. It was like Lutheran Social Services. They had this home called the Greenleaf House.
Okay.
Now, the house that I stayed in, where it was like the only home in Dayton, like in this area that was doing teen moms and babies. It was the setup. Her name was Miss Lucas. I stayed in her home, so I seen some of the things that was offered in that house, some of the things I would have wanted to be offered to me in that home. And then he gave me the Greenleaf House, which was now I came out of foster care and I would go back to the Greenleaf House and volunteer.
With the blueprint of
with
what?
the blueprint.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So God had given me these 2 different exposures. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
gave me 2 different pictures. Like, okay, you lived in a house where there was teen moms and there was pieces missing that you wish that you would have known. And then you go and you volunteer where there's teen moms and they're just a little younger than you. You're like 19 at this time. But you can see that they can connect to you.
Right.
That you feel safe here. You know what I mean? And you love being here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So once he gave me that introduction to those 2 situations, I'm in nursing. I'm you know what I'm saying, but my field that I want to be in is in the medical field.
Right.
So I'm working at the hospitals, I'm working at the nursing homes and stuff. He's letting me live my life, but he's allowing, like, every situation was a brick on top of another brick. Like, okay, like, you're not gonna use the bricks to build walls. You're gonna use your bricks to build layers for other people to stand on.
That's hard.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I could see those 2 experiences, and so when it came time, when God brought it back around in like 99, like, it's time. I'm talking about both of those familiarities came back to the surface, and it was like already my program was written out. So when I went back to Montgomery County Children's Services, like, hey, this is an idea, a vision that God gave me. I'm supposed to be starting this home for teenage moms with babies. They like, oh, bet.
So what, you went out there without a whole business plan, just went down there and told them.
Went down there and told them.
That is probably one of the most amazing stories I've heard.
Just went down there and told them.
Like today.
Just went down there. I didn't even have a business name. I didn't know what it was. It was just like, God was just like, go talk about it. This is what you're about to do. You're ready now. You know what I mean? And he had let me make a lot of mistakes along the way. And you know what I mean? But I loved taking care of people. I was great in the nursing field. But it was like the light switch went off, and it was all I seen was the plan.
Right. So the light switch. So the light switch went off, but the light switch went on for your organization.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So like, what was one of your first, like one of your first aha moments? Like, this is really working when it comes to the Mustard Seed Foundation.
You know, one of the things I'm gonna say is that I was very young. I was not known in any circles, right? But one of the things that God showed me very early on was that there was people that I had never met that was in influential positions in the city that sat on my board. Like Mia Spells, she's Judge Mia Spells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Katie Crosby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ditsy Allen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was people who were sitting on my board.
Prominent
people.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's
a lot of power.
I'm talking about Alvin Freeman, Tom Bedell.
Yeah.
Everybody that I went to and asked to sit on my board, they did it.
Green light.
I'm talking about and they believed in a mission that did not exist yet. You know what I mean? But these are the people that took their leverage, the work that they had done, the seeds that they had planted in this community, and allowed me to be leveraged off of those seeds.
Wow.
So that's when I knew that God had given me something that money, I didn't have no money. I ain't had no credit. I ain't had no business sense. I had not stepped not one foot in no business class. I knew nothing. All I knew was that the vision that God placed in me was the purpose. Yeah.
So that led to a slew of awards. One of the ones that stick out to me the most will be Top 25 Women to Watch. That was with the Better Business Bureau.
Yes.
What was that to get that type of accolade, or was it one before that kind of led to that being the big piece of cake that you got first?
The Top 25 Women to Watch was the one for me. It was to come together to be able to be in a room with 24 other influential women that was chosen by the people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's the people who was able to see the work. You know what I mean? Don't give me no award for being in the space. Give me an award for seeing the seeds, seeing the harvest from the seeds I plant. You know what I mean? I don't want no free awards. Y'all can keep them. You know what I mean? So this was a collective of people who decided that the harvest that they seen me produce was worthy of being named Top 25 Women in this community. It was big to me, you know.
Where was you at when you found out?
I
love that laugh right there. That's a good question.
I was at the seed. I was inside the seed house, and when I got the notice that I was one of the top 25 women chosen.
What was that moment like for you? Please be as descriptive as possible.
Well, first of all, it was women that had started this organization who I highly respected. And it was women that were from all different, that ordinarily wouldn't have crossed paths with someone like me. I'm an inner city, poor, black young woman that was, that went through traumatic situations. Yeah. I don't supposed to cross paths with women, white women, upper class, in, Oakwood. Ordinarily, our paths would not have any reason to cross. You know what I mean? So I was able to cross paths with these women who started this organization with vision. And I could see the vision. So now I admire you. You really are out here pushing what woman to woman really look like as far as helping to build up another woman.
Right.
Yeah.
So now they are now doing this top 25 women to watch. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm one of them. You know what I mean? Because that came with a certain tier. Like I'm actually
in the same
room.
Yeah.
With women who were CEOs of Good Samaritan Hospital, Premier Health. You know what I mean? Women who own businesses out in Kettering and have been in business for 15 years. You know what I mean? I'm in the room with women who, preachers and pastors and women that I felt like I could stand 10 toes down with because our work matches. I'm not here as a victim, or I'm not here begging for anything. I'm not here, like, I didn't get here by no other way but by my service, by my works. And I just appreciated being in the room,
So, yeah.
I was gonna say something. So, like, not long ago, they did this. Remember, I had won that award not long ago. It was like a. Hold on, let me put the camera on Peanut. Peanut, take him, Shondale. Please take a point.
I'm like, no, because there gotta be emergency shit coming while I'm on. Trying to make sure everything's good.
Is everything okay?
Over everything.
If that person called me while, like, they know I'm live. To call me during the time it was live, it had to be something serious. So I'm gonna make sure everything's straight. So man, you can take a point because obviously ain't nothing wrong and hung up on me when they heard you in the background.
So anyway, but this is about to be even a better point. Watch this. So not long ago they had this entrepreneurial award, right? And they gave the award to, it was like probably like 7 or 8 people. We all got kind of like entrepreneurial and put our picture on the wall and stuff. And remember how you were saying, like, you felt like you was in the room with these 25 women that was doing real major. Well, that's how everybody felt because I was there.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hey man, I'm gonna go with you on that.
Everybody that was
only somebody who would understand.
Everybody in there like, man, they like, man in here.
He gonna get his own stuff in, ain't he? He gonna get his shot in.
It's the All-Star game. He is here.
But I feel you, man. I feel you on that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just
Sorry, guys.
But never mind.
We are live, y'all. We are always
the
live.
narcissist.
For people that's watching, we are always live. I swear to God, we are not. This is not pre-recorded.
Right.
So Smith got 2 points out there. But back to your question you asked me before I was rudely interrupted by Falco.
No, that was my point.
Okay.
That was it.
That was my interjection. Some narcissistic interjection, man. Point out by Peanut.
Funny. So after the top 25 woman, like another award that stood out was you were recognized by the reinvention stories.
Yeah.
To me, like, that was super dope because like, they highlighted different people's stories, and then like they'll say where you started to where you became.
Yeah.
And one of the stories that we didn't get to yet was like, like, you were kind of bullied in like a certain respect where they was use crack baby turns against you. Could you kind of speak to what that was during that time of your life?
Yeah. So it was right about when I was like 8. I can remember me and my little sister sitting in the courtroom, which was, at that point, it had become routine. And again, this is after I had shut down. I just stopped talking. You know what I mean? I'm probably about 9, 10 actually. So I didn't stop talking. And I remember when, my mother was supposed to be having a hearing to get us back. And she had not showed up yet. And I remember they started my little sister sitting here. I'm sitting here. There's a lady sitting next to us, our caseworker. And I remember the judge asking us, did we have anything that we wanted to say before they got ready to close out? I can remember the white lady standing up next to me saying, well, she can't talk because she's a crack baby.
What?
Right in the middle of court. And I looked at this woman. I remember looking up at her like, because I had never heard, I'm talking about, this is the first time I had ever heard that term used in that type of environment.
And so, wait, a public official said this?
This caseworker stood up and looked at the judge, and she answered before I even had the opportunity to. She was just like, she can't speak, judge. She's the crack baby. And then, and I'm like, who the fuck is a crack baby in here? Like,
oh my God.
Yeah. And I remember that moment stuck with me.
That's the most,
Yeah.
That's the most insensitive thing that I would ever imagine for somebody to say in
pure fucking evil.
For the record. They coming in there taking dictation and notes, and everything that's being said in court is being notated, and they put something out there like that.
And I can remember that term.
And what did the judge say?
It was just like a silence. You know what I mean? And it was like, even at that moment, I can remember wanting to be like, I can talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like, damn, I'm a crack baby. Like, that's explaining like all of this. Like, you see what I mean?
Right.
Now it's like, okay, now there's a label that can make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
Fucked up,
again,
man.
that's why we just got to be careful about what we say to kids at those ages when it's like very instrumental for them, you know. So yeah, that's what that day, and I was like, dang, okay, here we go, you know.
So to fast forward to the point that now you're being recognized, you know what I'm saying, in a reinvention award.
Yeah.
Well, stories. What was that like for you
Man.
at that point to finally tell your side of the trauma, at least a portion of it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and your triumph.
Yeah, it was big for me because again, these were not people that I knew that approached me about doing this story. So it had to be, my works had to have traveled enough to get to an area where individuals that, you know, was doing the reinvention stories out of Antioch area, Yellow Springs area, where they felt the need to come to me and say, hey, we've heard about the greater works that you're doing.
Right.
And we know where we know where we've read about you, where you started, but we want to hear it from you.
Right.
Where do you think you started and where you think you want to go? You know what I mean? And so it gave me a chance again
To do your own
to
narrative.
do my own narrative, and to have someone invested in getting that narrative out. Like,
Right.
I watch that reinvention story all the time still.
Yes. Yes.
You know
I
what
want to
mean?
point
Because,
out
yeah.
that tonight, in the comment section, someone's called you an empress.
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 So let's go from full circle, like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh,
Now
my
that you
God.
get a chance to people who actually know you
Yeah.
and see this, is it the Chinese bamboo tree?
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese bamboo tree. Does are you hip to this, Peanut?
I heard of Chinese bamboo tree, but I don't know.
So,
the term yet.
what's amazing about this Chinese bamboo tree is that this tree grows underground, and you plant the seed for this bamboo tree, and you water this seed for years and years, maybe even 7 years, and nothing ever sprouts. And then when it does sprout, it shoots up to super high. I don't know how high. But let's say 10 feet. I might be shortchanging it. It might shoot up to 30 feet.
Right.
Right? We'll Google it.
Right.
How high does a Chinese bamboo tree grow?
Right.
But the person
Exponentially then.
for the person who is watering this tree is doing this over and over, and for the people who are looking, the person who's trying to like grow it, they look like they're doing nothing. They're a fool.
Yeah.
But then when it sprouts to the highest level imaginable.
Absolutely.
And that is what you have done, you know,
Yes.
just as an observation, because man, that really, it made me feel fucked up to hear something like that, you know, just for me to just care about my sister, you know.
Yeah.
But I went to the other side and just thought like, you know what about tonight?
What about tonight?
You know,
Yeah.
tonight we see a business owner, a queen, and even more than that, a empress. You know what I mean? That it's just so you 25 and you doing these things at a young age to become a woman to watch out for. You know what I mean? And
Thank
these
you.
accolades don't come for everybody, man.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
nothing for
Yeah.
us to even like just gloss over or say, "Oh, that happened to you."
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that is a rare, special, an award.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we asked earlier why the Most High does these things, man.
Yeah.
It is for the glory of God, man,
It
to
is.
see how He can transform
Yes.
It is.
something that's so traumatized
Yeah.
into something that's a prized possession.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that God gave me. You
Man.
know, I actually did a live yesterday about the transformation and conversion of Saul to Paul. You know what I mean? Everything that God does is purposeful.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's the reason why I believe in my heart why trauma can't stay on you when there's purpose that's in you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's something about that purpose that's the repellent.
Yes.
It's just, psh,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't that I don't know it didn't happen. I remember you know what I'm saying? I remember it. But the thought of you being able to get inside of me where the purpose lives is it just can't happen.
Right.
I just can't allow that to happen.
Man, I think all of us go through a bunch of stuff. Go ahead, Ken.
Speaking with, so yeah, like going through that. So like at this point, you're doing very, very well. I mean, you're getting accolades, but then now you get a new building, right?
Yes.
So like, what happened with the old building that led to you getting a new building?
So, pretty simple was that in order for me to get started, I needed to have someone that believed in my vision, right? Because remember, I had no money, I had no credit, I had no business, nothing. So Precious Blood Church, Father Bill, and Sister Florence heard about what I had been trying to do for 2 years. They heard about I'm running around trying to find somewhere to house teen moms with babies. I'm getting no's everywhere. They reach out to me, and within months, green light. I'm talking about the building, 14-bedroom house, office space, classrooms, everything I needed.
It was old Daybreak building, right?
No, it was the up at Precious Blood.
Okay.
Right there on Denlinger.
Okay.
We was on the Denlinger Precious Blood site.
Okay.
And when Father Bill left and they changed over their ministry and Sister Florence was retiring, they had a whole leadership shift at the church.
Right.
And decided that they wanted to bring programming back to that house.
Okay.
Which led to me then having to go to the community and say, hey, listen, this is the news that we just got. I have like 8 pregnant moms in this building, babies. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to find a house, and it has to be something that we can transition suitable. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a major... I'm talking about my anxiety and everything was through the roof because I'm like, I got like 4 babies. They're asking me to be out in August. I got 4 babies that's supposed to be born from July to December. And where am I going to go? And where am I going to take these moms? Right. And I can remember the thing about God testing my faith at that moment. Because from every single purpose to purpose, my faith had to increase. So when I started, I had been at that house now for like 7 years, and God kept showing me my own building. You got a building. I just need you to believe. Like, I gave you this building because you needed it at the time.
Like
that was that faith.
Like time to take training wheels off.
Time to take, it's the faith of a mustard seed. I need to see that the seed is growing. Like, is your faith growing with the seed? Because now I done gave you 7 years in this building, and you've been able to do a greater works, but now you scared when I tell you got your own building. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Oh, nah, don't cower. But since you cowering up, I'm going to send Pharaoh after you. Go get her up out of there.
Wow.
Let's see what her faith going to do when she at the Red Sea. Like, that type of thing. I got moms, babies. Where am I going to go? I went to the community. I need about $65,000, $70,000 within the next 45 days. I need it. I need y'all to kick in and give me 70 grand within the next 45 days. And guess what happened? They gave it to me. And guess what happened? The house that I had been, that God told me was mine, had been sitting empty for 2 years. People...
The whole 2 years you were sitting there shuffling.
The whole 2 years.
You have been eyeing it up.
I'm just
manifesting it the whole time.
Manifesting it.
Visualizing. Vision act next you attract. Oh, yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
But he had to do something to get me up out of that comfortableness.
Yeah.
And that fear of, like, stepping out on my own. Mm-hmm. You know, and...
To pick something else up, you have to...
Yep, put it down.
Put something else down, man.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what was that moment like to get those keys?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
To be at that closing table... Like, to have people that call me just because they seen a news story, like, I want to give you 20 grand. A woman, I've never met this woman. I ain't never talked to this woman again at all. She called me one day. I'm sitting downtown at the Breakfast Club. I'm talking about, I'm freaking out because at this point, I might got like 7,000 raised. Right. You know what I mean? I'm like, God, they 45 days. I got to be able to have this money coming to the table.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down there.
Like 44 days and hours.
Ew. I'm like, okay, now, Lord, what you going to do?
Yeah.
And he like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? And so I'm sitting down there, and this woman called me. She said that she lives somewhere in Kettering. She like, I just seen your news story, and I know what it is. You know what you're going through. She said, I have a trust. It has about $20,000 in it. You can have it. I'm like, hold on, what? She said, I want you to do one thing for me. She said, I want you to give me the number of one person that I can call that can vouch for your character. I ain't never talked to this woman before. She said person.
So wait, you took a deep breath and who phone number you give her to?
Mama Daria Diller Stone.
Shout out to Mama.
I got you. I called Mama Daria sitting right there at that breakfast counter. I said, Mama Daria, this woman just called me out the blue. I don't know who she is, but she said she needs to be able to talk to one person who can vouch for my character. Mama Daria was on my board at this time. She was down at Pace. So I'm like, okay, Mom. She said, give me the number, give me the information. She called the woman. The woman called me back 15 minutes later and was like, I'm sending you a check. I said, where do I send the thank you, or where can I announce the, she said, don't send me nothing. Don't put my name nowhere. She said, all I want you to do is take care of those teen moms.
That is
amazing
the
woman.
Lord. That is
Beautiful.
The Most High.
We got Niecy Simmons checked in.
Okay.
She said, man, I appreciate this interview tonight. Queen, your story is so inspiring. You are an overcomer, strong and healing to the people. Please continue to let your light shine. Then we got my bro Milk Jeezy.
Milk Jeezy
in this thing.
What?
Man, he
Thank
said
you,
he gave us, oh, okay, you guys can see it. Gave us the good old ice emojis and the
Ice,
ace of
ice.
spade.
Ice.
Man, that's solid for sure, man. Thank you guys, man. Continue to keep them comments coming. Like, subscribe, ring that bell notification on YouTube.
So one of my favorite things that I saw was the selfie with you and Debbie Lieberman. Can you tell us the funny story behind that?
Deb, Commissioner Lieberman. That is, and it's interesting because Deb was one of those ones that really took a liking to me. You know what I mean? Like when I really jumped out there again, I'm talking about it was people that really was in our community already on the platform. Commissioner Jeff Mims, now Mayor Jeff Mims, my Uncle Clay Dixon. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was people that really was
advocate for
it. Dad would come by the camp because I started a camp called Cardio Kids Camp.
Yeah.
And I would be like, okay, I need donations. I would put up posts like, okay, I need pencils and crayons and And Dad was one of those people that would hit me on my inbox like, hey, I'm gonna come by the camp today and I'll bring you some stuff by, or hey, tell me what else you need. Or Dad was just she all love.
Shout out to Debbie Lieberman, and you have my invite to come sit across this table.
Man, all day.
Yeah, but she really support things that she believe in, and I respect that.
So y'all was at an actual award ceremony. Was the Coretta Scott King Center, Antioch College, and it was the Justice Award.
Yes.
And y'all both liked that mirror a lot, didn't y'all?
We did. In the bathroom.
So y'all was in the bathroom?
We was in the bathroom. I had gotten an award.
Yeah.
I had gotten that award, that Coretta Scott King Award, and that really meant a lot to me. And the young lady that was there speaking, that was the main speaker, Miss Mika, she was there. But me and Dad, we were in the bathroom, and I'm trying to take this picture, this stuff, and she like, come on, Nikki. She calls me Nikki, so that's But we get in front of that mirror, we take that picture, and I'm like, I got a Commissioner Lieberman in this mirror. So
Right. See, you wouldn't expect me to know that.
I know, right? Ain't that funny? Look at you. Come on,
he does it.
Do that job.
Yeah.
So one of our greatest things we're here for is eventually you open up the Serendipity in some prime real estate, which is the Oregon district.
Yeah.
How important was it to have it in that location rather than somewhere else?
Yeah.
And explain what Serendipity is also.
All right. So Serendipity is a health and wellness clinic that I opened up that was solely based on cannabis healing. Introducing the alternative meds into and merging it with traditional medicine.
Right.
And giving it a space where both could be prevalent.
Right.
So, it's funny because I had no idea of where I was going to put this business that I had no idea I was going to start.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Starting Serendipity Community Care, I had been doing the mustard seed for about 12 years at this point. I had started having a whole lot of illnesses in my body.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working at the hospital, but now I'm catching ventilator pneumonia, and I'm in and out the hospital myself. I'm struggling. Every single year I'm struggling just to breathe at this point. And my doctor started saying that she thought that I had something else going on with me. It turned out to be lupus.
Oh, okay.
So lupus is now attacking my lungs, and I'm in the hospital like a rotating door. I'm running the mustard seed from a hospital bed. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to deal with my own ailments and now still take care of teen moms and staff and all that. But after years of dealing with this and not finding any treatment that made sense to me, a friend of mine, I was going out to California all the time, always in California. I wasn't smoking, none of that at this time. And he like, what are you doing? You're always in the hospital. Why are you gonna use some weed or not? Like, you know what I'm saying? He owns a dispensary out there.
Well, you tried everything else.
You
Why
tried
not
everything
try?
else.
Right.
I'm like, man, I don't smoke. I'm cool. I appreciate you, bro. He like, man, okay, I'm gonna send you something. He sent me a basket with like some brownies and some gummy worms and stuff. I'm like, man, this ain't no weed. Like, what are you doing? And that was my introduction to what medical marijuana had done for me. Now it's keeping me out the hospital. I'm able to come off of all these medications that they got me on, and I'm mentally in a good space. And it's all behind weed.
Right.
Like, I'm looking at my doctor like, do you have any weed you can prescribe me at this point?
Right.
And so he starts to talk to me about the medical marijuana, like, you know, the licensure coming to Ohio. And at the time, again, I had no idea about nothing that had to do with medical marijuana other than the fact that it was in my body and it was helping me substantially.
Right.
And I wanted other people to be helped by this medicine. So when I found out it was coming to Dayton or coming to Ohio, it was such a quick, like a real quick motion that it was like in one fatal swoop, God showed me the location to go to. Right. It used to be the Obama's campaign location.
Yeah, I've been there before.
I'm riding by there and just see the guy out there putting up a sign for rent. I busted a U-turn right then, like, how much you renting this for?
Yeah.
And that's how Serendipity was born.
Wow.
I was riding down 5th Street to go to the post office, just happened to look over to the right, see this dude over there putting up a for rent sign. And I flips around right then and there because the state had already told me that I needed an address in order to apply for licensure. This was like within days of the state telling me that I needed an address to be able to apply for licensure. Right. I bust the U-turn. He tells me how much he's renting it for. He like, well, can you think you can afford that? Yeah. I went to PNC Bank around the corner.
Right.
Got a cashier's check, brought it back to that man, and signed the lease that day. And Serendipity was born in Oregon.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
And it was crazy because by the time the Oregon district, like the association, found out what was in there, I had already been in there for like 3 months.
Right.
Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They had been getting like notices and everything, but I don't even think they realized. It was almost like you said, like when somebody watering it.
Yeah.
And by the time it got to the surface,
It's already
it was already too big for you to do anything about it.
Right.
Man, go ahead, man.
And
Got the point. Chinese bamboo tree, man.
Yeah.
Let me see how big Chinese bamboo trees go.
So, can you tell us about some of the benefits of medical marijuana?
And
some of your products that you have here.
Yeah. So one of the benefits is that, and I like to tell people, you know, back in the day when people heard about weed, everybody condemns it. Oh my God, the smell! I can't believe you come in a movie theater smelling like weed. You know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, but then you had those other people that was potheads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing I love about this medicine is that you can get this in your body a lot of different ways.
Say medicine.
Medicine. Okay. You can eat brownies. Like, these are what you call edibles.
Yeah.
The thing about these is that you can get them to fit how you want to feel.
Right.
So you like, okay, go ahead, Smith.
Man, you guys, the Chinese bamboo tree.
Oh my
this
God!
Shit is so
I know you not still going.
Listen to me. Listen to this shit. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is who you are. This is your illustration. A Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years to grow. It has to be watered and fertilized in the ground where it has been planted every day. It doesn't break through the ground for 5 years. Wow. After 5 years, once it breaks through the ground, it will grow 90 feet.
What?
In 5 weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
It will grow 90 feet in 5 weeks, bro.
He's trying real hard to get the game ball. Yeah. You are definitely the bamboo tree.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Because that's the way that happened. Even when I got down there in the Oregon district and people was coming by like, you got a weed shop down here. And again, I just stumbled up on the opportunity to even be in this building doing this.
This is crazy because my friend had told me, like, you know, it'd be double. We had a weed spot down in the Oregon district and you got one.
Right.
Somebody literally said to me, man.
It's the perfect place for it.
Yeah,
it was the perfect place. Like, I'm talking about by the time the neighbors looked up, they was like, a what? And a who?
Yeah.
We love it.
We love you. Yeah. Like, and I love you guys too.
Right.
Like,
peace and love.
Real talk.
Man, it's all, I mean, the Oregon district is that type of vibration though, you know, kind of like Woodstocky a little bit, you know. Yeah, it's all, I mean, I think it fit. It's a good fit.
And we all just small business owners, really, like, and that's the thing about merging with people that you might not have never really been been in the place before. It gives you a different perspective. You know, I've always heard about the Oregon District. You know, they don't want black people down there. I remember us getting beat up down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that was the perspective we had.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the day that God sent me there. Like, this is yours too.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are supposed to be here too.
Definitely.
Like, let's reverse this and flip it a little bit. And, you know, like I said, I mean, even if I believe if it had come out before that I was trying to open up a marijuana spot down there,
It would have been.
It would've-
stepped on.
Right.
it would have been stepped on.
They'd have put
Yeah.
the blunt out for you guys.
It would have
light
been, come on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it would have been stepped on.
So,
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, thank you, man. So, after that, you do the self-care event.
Yes.
And it sold out. And what was that like to, you know, to go through this process of, you know, your trauma to the point where now you're healing. You also, you know what I mean, now you finally have prime real estate, what you want to do. You are walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
And now you want to share it with the people.
Yeah. And that's my main thing, was that what I was most fearful of, because I knew the identity of those in this space are not, they don't look like us in particular. So my goal was to try to figure out how to get us from being the consumers to being in the space of business.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's what my whole goal was to say, we're not just going to be consumers in this space. We've earned our right to be here. And so even if I just get my foot in the door, I can maybe help to bring some people behind me, or, you know what I mean, I'm in. You know what I mean? So let's figure out a way to make this work for a generation of people. You know what I mean? And so being able to throw those type of events, like I love weed parties. Like those are I love weed parties.
Anybody who don't like weed party get random drug tests. I guarantee you. All people who don't like weed party, they get random drug tests. And I
love
guarantee
it.
you.
I love doing self-care events
Yeah.
where you can tie in the medicine with it,
Yeah.
and people are
Medicine,
people are just having a good time, and
It's
people are all out
medicine.
here living. Yeah.
So, what is next for the great Shondale? What is next for you?
I am.
So the next thing is that I want to start looking at how to make this medicine move, like how to make it travel, right? How to make this, like, we're in every senior building where you have people that are by themselves, where you have individuals that don't have family, don't have contact with people, who are going through depression at ages where they can't afford to go through depression. I don't want people dying in this space of sadness and loneliness. So my goal is to make this medicine travel, where it can be in buildings where we are bringing our seniors together in a space where we can do all types of different things for them.
I think me and Smed have the perfect idea. We're going to talk about it off the podcast because Lord knows they steal Smed's ideas all the time, right? Right? So we're going to talk off, but I promise you, but I have to do this thing, which is called the butterfly effect. Whether there's something you said during the course of the interview or something I found in the course of the research that I found that was truly profound and amazing. I want to tell you, first of all, you are the butterfly effect. You truly embody the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
I mean, for you to speak so highly about Miss Harris, and you are Miss Harris yourself.
Wow.
No, embody that for a second. Take a deep breath, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Because your niece, Lucy, who went through all the stuff she went through to finally graduate, that is a personal thing you have personally did that is bared fruit right here in front of you. You know what I mean? I mean, we go more. With your daughter, which is the deputy director of the voter suppression, which is going to be helping people that are being disenfranchised by voter laws that is messing up and disenfranchising people and keeping us out of industries that you are so groundbreaking in. To be one of the first and only, you know what I mean? We don't go call it weed, but the medicine down there in Oregon District. You are exactly what we love to catalog on our channel because you validate our platform more than me and Smed could ever do. And I want to say to you again, after 15 years of serving the community, that top 25, you said you felt like 24 people were so amazing. You belong there. You truly belong there, Queen. You are unequivocally a legend.
Thank you.
So proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
You know, to be in this space and to be able to spend time like reversing the curse against our people. Like to be in this space with y'all, and y'all doing so many dope, amazing things, and giving people like me the opportunity to speak. And man, like I'm grateful. I know this is what God this is what it's all about.
It's ordained.
It's ordained. Yeah. So I want y'all to come down and see Serendipity. I mean, people can get patches.
Yeah, I'm coming down there for some serendipity.
You can get some THC patches.
I'm gonna get serendipity and serendipity.
Listen, you can put this on your back, man. Not your niece, man, because I know you still trying to play ball.
Put it on that knee,
so we gonna have you put this on your knee.
Put that good old knee.
And then tomorrow show up at practice.
It can be open, yes.
Man,
Thank you.
I need you to show up tomorrow with the patch on your knees, man. Like,
Man, let's
you can
get
THC
it.
in your body so many ways, and I want people to come in here and talk to me and get their cards.
Man, let me do a good old legendary observation, man.
Yeah.
So, man, sis, I didn't know how major you was.
Real tough.
Like, for real, man. Like, you are somebody that someone could point to and say that you could overcome anything.
Yes.
And like I don't want to say like me too, but man, you know, like I've been through a bunch of shit too. And so this ain't about me and it's not about you, but what it is about is the person who are going through some of the things that you went through and you found a way out, you know, and all the things that you went through just made you battle tested to not be afraid to fail. I mean, shit, you can fail, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. Like you can always bounce back, man. And shit, the Chinese bamboo tree, you know, like man,
hard.
everybody that's going through, you underground, you haven't broke your ground yet, you know, but you still just chipping away, man. You know, you watering your own flower, man, by just sticking with something. You would have cared for the young ladies whether you got paid for it or not. Like you was doing something that you love to do. You know what I'm saying? And then just became an icon or something like that, man. And it was so cool. Peanut said that you are Miss Harris. You know, Miss Harris to the 10th power.
Wow.
Yes.
Like you've become Miss Harris, and Miss Harris probably helped more young ladies than just you. But for her to just kind of like plant that seed in you and then just watch you grow to what you become. Is Miss Harris still around?
She is.
Shout out to Miss
Man,
Harris.
shout out to Miss
Love
Harris,
you,
man.
queen.
Thank you.
She has a major role in my movie. You know what I mean? And she has a major space.
What's Miss Day?
Like, man. Tequila Day. Yes.
Tequila Day
So she's doing this movie and she believes in it, and I'm just trusting God to manifest some powerful things from it.
What's the name of your movie?
It's called Addicted, the Shondale Atkinson story.
That's hard.
Man, this is the best thing ever.
We working on it. We did the auditions. We did 2 auditions. We're gonna, probably host another one or so because it was right in the midst of the COVID situation. So we had to kind of put the brakes on for a minute, but we're looking at starting back up in the summer.
You know what?
You need the studio, you need the shop, you need a space to shoot any scenes, man. You got that.
Exactly.
You know what I
that's
mean?
big because that's one of the things that we were, we're like, okay, we're trying to get sponsorships and maybe, get people to
Man, we
come
can
in on
use
this.
every nook and cranny of this store, man, to shoot different scenes, give different looks.
Absolutely.
Man,
Whatever you
man.
need.
So I mean, we definitely got, got a resource
That's
for you.
blessings.
You know.
Yeah,
For
so I'm
sure.
excited about that because I've been sitting on that and
For free.
Right.
Good.
Yep, for free.
Thank you.
Now,
Throw
always
that
got
in
your
there.
pocket.
You feel me?
Wow.
But it's not for free because, man, like what I do for you, I do for myself, man. Like all of us, you guys. Let me tell y'all one thing that's watching this show, man. When all of that stimulus money was out in the streets, do you know how hard I was rolling? Man, I was rolling, right?
Yeah.
So the point of me telling everybody that is not that I was rolling, but I only do as good as the people around me.
That's hard.
I can't do this shit by myself.
Yeah.
It's in my best interest for everybody to have some money.
Yeah, that's
say
what
that.
I always say.
If I'm the only one with money,
That's what
if
King said.
I'm the only one with money, this shit is going to dissipate so fast that we all will be broke together.
Yep.
So I want everybody to have money. And when it says like, you know, we should be praying for others, that's the logic and the science that goes with that.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
pray for everybody around you
Yeah.
and not just yourself, because we'll all pass that little shit
Yes.
around.
Yeah.
Pass it
Yeah.
around. Because
Yeah.
when y'all was giving it to me, I was giving it to somebody
Yeah,
else, man.
real
We gonna
talk.
cook this shit up, man. You know?
And that's what that's all
For
about.
sure.
I tell my kids all the time, like, they like, you know, even a young lady told me the other day, I'll give it back to you. You know, I said, just pay it forward.
Yeah.
That's giving it back to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I ask you to do is just pay it forward when you have the opportunity to do it for somebody else. And that's the reason why when I got ready to go start Serendipity, I put a post up on Facebook. I said, hey, listen, anybody that want to start a teenage mom's home, I have a house that is totally furnished. Everything's in it. Baby beds, refrigerators, stoves, washers and dryers, everything in it. If your heart is to serve teen moms in a residential, I'm going to give you the whole entire platform to do it. I'm going to give you
Man.
all my policies, every last one of my procedures, everything in my handbook, everything that you're going to need to get to the state, I'm going to give it to you.
Man.
I am going to gift you this home to get started in. Why? Because somebody did it for me.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
my job. Because at the end of the day, if I take that seed and eat it and never reproduce it, what does that look like?
Yeah.
How do I kill purpose in my own? You know what I'm saying? How do I do that? How do somebody else give me a seed
Yeah.
to keep rolling and I eat it and I'm like, y'all better get it the best way you know how.
Right.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
I'm eating seeds and swallowing them and not having no life. You know what I mean? Like, nah,
you're
I want them
working.
to flip
You're
20
working
times.
on legacy.
You know what I mean?
You know,
That's
you
hard.
are working on legacy at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how it is. Like, you know, you've been around. Like, you just continue to thrive. Like, it's still yours. You
Right.
know.
So a couple things we get a chance to get to. We're going to go to this list real quick. She was a residential facility for teen moms and babies for the mustard seed, licensed mental health facility type 1, 8-week fitness summer camp with the cardio kids, we talked about it earlier, certified and accredited community-based behavioral health agency, teen girl conferences, summer food programs, travel across the nation with Envision, Team Blue Boys basketball coach, Wesley Center and after school program coordinator, health and wellness clinic focus, and now what we have today is the great Serendipity, man. You are on a like you are major, like you are up there with the Jeffrey Mills to me.
I
At
got
this
one
point.
of a young lady
Yeah.
that little Destiny that works here, Justice. She loves you so much out
Oh,
there. Like,
wow.
she talks about you and Bird, man, all the
That's
time.
my
Just
baby.
yeah,
That's my
man.
baby. You know what I mean?
Little Justice. Yeah, for sure.
Little Justice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but y'all actually got a chance to meet each other when
Yeah.
I mean, well, see each other when you came
Yes.
up here the other day.
I
so,
love
yeah.
justice.
So spare pay some bills, man.
All right, you guys, man, like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. Legendary People Podcast on YouTube, man. Continue to like. Sheiks for breakfast, Agnes All Natural Grill for lunch. You ever get injured, call attorney Michael Wright. When you want to get lit a little bit, get you some of that good old Kiara wine. TheShopArea.com. It's like the baby Amazon. Delivery always free from the store to your door in 4 business days. That's TheShopArea.com. T-Shirt Kings 24/7. T-Shirt Kings in the motherfucking metaverse. Hashtag dating for my brother B-Nut. Man, you guys, hashtag date, man. My bro B-Nut. Tomorrow, crypto
Oh,
news.
Black
Black
crypto.
crypto. Bro, I swear our show's so lit, bro.
I'm here. I cannot
Man, it's
wait.
going crazy,
I
bro.
can't wait.
We kick
I'm
it
buying
to the
one
highest.
live on air. I'm buying a.
Oh, you buying a hashtag?
I'm buying a hashtag live on air.
So B-Nut he got the game where you can actually buy a hashtag, and every time somebody uses this hashtag, you get paid for it,
on
man.
that NFT of the hashtag.
hashtag tomorrow.
Listen, bro. So my
Hashtag
Hashtag
Serendipity.
Serendipity.
Yeah.
So you guys, Black Crypto News tomorrow, and then we got Coach K Sports Corner. Man, he got Keith Byers,
Yes.
Jeff Graham,
Oh my God.
and Mike
Thank you.
McCray coming on
Sports
Wednesday,
Center.
man. We in here going crazy, man. That's on Wednesday. Then I think we got something popping on Thursday, but then next Monday we got Angelina Jackson, who is running for the judge
Yes.
in Dayton.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah,
is She was some type of lawyer before.
Don't
Maybe
worry,
a public
man.
defender.
I'll do the
We'll
research,
find.
so.
We'll find
I
all
got
out.
you.
But man, you know, we in high places, bro. We got all kind of people coming to the show. So yeah, man. So you guys make sure that y'all stay tuned in, man. My bro P Dash's Dash Resource Channel on YouTube teach you how to get a big old bag every Sunday. So Sales Stocks Not Dope Sunday at 8 p.m. on the Dash Resource Channel.
Man, went viral a couple times.
Man, bro, going viral, man. He putting up sweet numbers on Instagram.
On the gram, they love me on the
Instagram.
gram, bro.
Man, and you guys, man, make
Love me
sure
on
y'all
there.
check me out in the metaverse, man, and get you one of these Oculus.
There you go.
Hey,
Look, man, you feel me? I really don't even got time for you guys, for real, but I made time for, you feel me, for Shondale to
You
come
made
through,
time
man,
for
for
things you love.
Serendipity, and I'm glad that I did, but
yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm going to
He
the
about
real
to
shit.
serendipity.
I'm going,
He about
yep.
to dippity, serendipity.
I'm about to serendipity up out of this motherfucker, man. Yes, sir. All right, man. Peanut, what you got?
Legendary People Podcast, Legendary People, Legendary Stories, Council Shirts, Council Merch, man. Be a cap was not a victim.
Yes, sir, man. We love everybody, man. See y'all tomorrow. Peace, peace, peace.
Lit for y'all.